The stars looked different from the bridge of the New Horizon. Captain Jake Morrison stood at the main window, watching the endless black space filled with tiny lights. His ship carried 50,000 people to their new home. They had been traveling for 3 years, and everyone was tired of living inside metal walls. "Captain, we're coming up on Kepler's Rest," said Commander Alex Turner from behind him. Alex was the head of security, a tall man with short brown hair and serious eyes. "The trading station is sending docking permission." Jake turned around and nodded. "Good. Our people need fresh supplies. 3 years of ship food is enough for anyone." The New Horizon was huge, almost like a floating city. It had living areas, schools, shops, and even small parks with real trees. But it was still a ship, and people wanted to feel solid ground under their feet again. The trading station would give them a chance to walk around and breathe air that didn't come from machines. Dr. Lisa Parker walked onto the bridge carrying a medical pad. She was the chief medical officer, a woman in her 40s with kind eyes and gentle hands. "Jake, I need to talk to you about the children," she said. "What about them?" Jake asked. "They're getting restless. Some of the younger ones are having bad dreams. They need to see something besides ship walls." Lisa looked worried. "Maybe we could let them visit the trading station?" Jake thought about it. Kepler's Rest was supposed to be safe. It was a neutral place where different alien species came to trade. The humans had been there before without problems. "All right, but they stay in groups with adults watching them." "Thank you," Lisa said with a smile. "I'll tell their parents." The trading station was a massive structure made of metal and glass. It spun slowly in space, creating artificial gravity inside. As the New Horizon moved closer, Jake could see other ships docked there. Some were human ships, but others belonged to alien species they had met during their journey. "Docking complete," announced Lieutenant Kevin Walsh from the pilot's seat. He was young, maybe 25, with red hair and freckles. "All systems green." "Good work," Jake said. "Alex, I want security teams at all the docking ports." "Nothing goes wrong today." Alex nodded and started giving orders to his people. Jake trusted him completely. Alex had been a soldier before joining the colony mission, and he knew how to keep people safe. Down in the civilian areas, families were getting ready to visit the station. Danny Sullivan, an engineer with dark hair and calloused hands, was helping his daughter Katie get ready. She was a teacher, 28 years old, with brown eyes and a patient smile. "Remember, stay with the group," Danny told her. "And keep the children close," Katie nodded. She was taking 12 children to see the station. The oldest was 10-year-old Emma Rodriguez, a smart girl with black hair who always asked questions. The youngest was 8-year-old Tommy Chun, a quiet boy who loved to draw pictures of the stars. "We'll be fine, Dad," Katie said. "It's just a trading station." Maria Rodriguez was also getting ready. She was a nurse, Emma's mother, with worried eyes and gentle hands like Dr. Parker. "Emma, you listen to Miss Katie," she said to her daughter, "and don't wander off." "I won't, Mom," Emma said. She was excited to see something new. All the children the group of 12 children walked through the docking tunnel with Katie leading them. They chatted and laughed, happy to be going somewhere different. Tommy Chun walked quietly at the back, looking around with wide eyes. The trading station was amazing. The ceiling was high and made of clear glass, showing the stars outside. Shops lined the walls, selling things from all over the galaxy. The air smelled different here, full of strange spices and alien foods. "Stay together," Katie called to the children. "We're going to look at the market first." The children gathered around her, looking at the alien traders with curiosity. There were tall blue people with 4 arms, small green creatures with big eyes, and others that looked almost human but with different colored skin. Everything seemed normal at first. The children pointed at strange foods and alien tools. Katie bought some sweet candies for them to try. Tommy Chen drew pictures of the aliens in his notebook, but in the shadows, something was watching them. The Zephyrians had been planning this for weeks. They were reptilian creatures with scales instead of skin, yellow eyes, and sharp teeth. They made money by capturing people and selling them as slaves. Human children were special because they were rare and valuable. Captain Vexcracker led the Zephyrian team. He was bigger than the others, with darker scales and scars on his face. "The human younglings are here," he hissed to his soldiers. "Remember, we need them alive and unhurt." His ship, the Bone Harvester, was docked on the other side of the station. It was a black vessel with sharp edges, built for speed and fighting. Inside, cages were waiting for their prisoners. The attack came without warning. Alarms started ringing throughout the station as Zephyrian soldiers rushed into the market area. They carried energy weapons and moved fast, their clawed feet clicking. On the metal floor, "Children, get behind me." Katie shouted, but it was too late. The Zephyrians had planned everything perfectly. They threw smoke grenades that filled the air with thick gray clouds. People screamed and ran in all directions. In the confusion, the aliens grabbed the children. Tommy Chun tried to run, but a Zephyrian soldier caught him. "Let me go," he cried. But the alien was too strong. Emma Rodriguez fought back, kicking and biting, but another soldier picked her up easily. "Mom!" she screamed, but her voice was lost in the chaos. Katie tried to protect her students, but a Zephyrian hit her with the back of his weapon. She fell to the ground, blood running from her head. Still, she tried to get up, reaching for the children. "Commander." Alex Turner arrived with his security team just as the Zephyrians were leaving. "Stop!" he shouted, firing his weapon at the retreating aliens. But the Zephyrians had planned their escape too. They threw more smoke grenades and ran toward their ship. Alex's team followed, but the smoke was too thick to see clearly. "Get the children," Alex ordered his soldiers. "Don't let them reach their ship." The battle was fierce but short. The Zephyrians fought their way to the Bone Harvester, carrying the 12 human children with them. Alex's team was brave, but they were outnumbered and caught by surprise. Lieutenant Walsh tried to stop the alien ship from leaving, but the Zephyrians were already closing their docking port. "They're getting away," he shouted into his radio. The Bone Harvester separated from the trading station and moved quickly toward open space. Within minutes, it disappeared into hyperspace, leaving only empty stars behind, back on the new horizon. Captain Jake Morrison received the terrible news. His face went white as Alex explained what had happened. 12 children, he said quietly. "And Katie?" "They took the teacher too," Alex said. His voice was full of anger and shame. "I'm sorry, Captain. We were too slow." Dr. Lisa Parker was treating the wounded people from the attack. Her hands shook as she worked, thinking about the children. "We have to go after them," she said. "I'm tracking their hyperspace signature," announced Lieutenant Walsh. "It leads toward the Korath Nebula." Jake knew about the Korath Nebula. It was a dangerous place where pirates and criminals lived. No law existed there, and terrible things happened to prisoners. Down in the civilian areas, parents were crying and screaming. Maria Rodriguez held her husband's hand, tears streaming down her face. "They took Emma," she whispered. "They took our little girl." Danny Sullivan was angry and desperate. "We have to go after them now," he shouted at anyone who would listen. "Every minute we wait, they get further away." Other parents gathered around, all demanding action. They didn't care about the dangers or the risks. Their children were gone, and they wanted them back. Captain Morrison stood on the bridge, looking out at the stars. Somewhere out there, 12 innocent children were prisoners of alien slavers. He thought about his duty to the 50,000 people on his ship, about the colony they were supposed to build, but he also thought about Tommy Chin's quiet drawings and Emma Rodriguez's bright questions. He thought about Katie Sullivan, who had only wanted to show the children something beautiful. "Set course for the Korath Nebula," he said finally. "Captain," Alex asked, "are you sure?" Jake Morrison turned around, and his eyes were hard as steel. "They took our children, Alex. We're going to get them back." The New Horizon changed course toward the Korath Nebula, but Captain Jake Morrison knew he had a big problem. His ship carried 50,000 people who needed to reach their new home. The colony site was waiting, and supplies were running low. "Captain," said Commander Sarah Blake, walking onto the bridge. She was a strong woman with gray hair and steady hands. "The Civilian Council is asking questions. They want to know why we're going into pirate space." Jake looked tired. He had not slept since the attack on Kepler's Rest. What would you do, Sarah, if those were your children? I'd do exactly what you're doing, she said, but we need a plan. We can't risk 50,000 lives for 12 children, no matter how much we want to save them. Dr. Lisa Parker joined them, carrying her medical equipment. I've been working on something, she said. All the children have medical implants, small devices that monitor their health. If I can boost our sensors, we might be able to track them. How long will that take? Jake asked. A few hours, maybe less. Lisa's eyes were red from crying and working without rest. But Captain, we need to hurry. Those medical readings I'm getting, the children are scared. Their heart rates are too high. Jake made his decision. Sarah, I want you to take the liberty, Bell, and escort the civilian population to the colony site. Take half the security teams and most of the supplies. Sarah nodded. She understood. The Liberty Bell was a smaller ship, but it could carry people safely. What about you? We're going after those children, Jake said. Alex, get your best people ready. We're going into hell. Commander Alex Turner was already preparing his security teams. He chose 20 of his best soldiers, people who had fought in wars before joining the colony mission. They were older, experienced, and angry about what had happened. Listen up, Alex told his team. We're going into the Korath Nebula. It's full of pirates, slavers, and worse things. Our job is to bring home 12 children and their teacher. Anyone who gets in our way is going to regret it. Sergeant Mike Johnson, a big man with scars on his arms, raised his hand. What about the aliens who took them, the Zephyrians? We'll deal with them, Alex said, his voice cold. They made a big mistake taking human children. Chief Engineer Bobby Martinez was working in the engine room, making the ship faster and stronger. He was a small man with quick hands and a smart mind. If we're going into pirate space, we need better weapons. He told his team. Bobby had been thinking about this since the attack. The New Horizon was a colony ship, not a warship, but it was big and strong, and he knew how to make it dangerous. We're going to turn this ship into something the pirates have never seen before. Lieutenant Kevin Walsh was studying the hyperspace trail left by the bone harvester. He was good with computers and sensors, and he worked without stopping. Captain, I think I know where they went, he said. Where? Jake asked. There's a place called Black Rock Station. It's an asteroid mining facility in the nebula. The Zephyrians have been there before. I found old records from other ships. Dr. Parker looked up from her work. I'm getting stronger signals from the medical implants. They're definitely in that direction. Jake studied the star charts. Black Rock Station was deep in the nebula, surrounded by dangerous space rocks and radiation. It was the perfect place for criminals to hide. What do we know about this station? He asked. Kevin pulled up more information. It's huge, built inside a hollow asteroid. Maybe 10,000 criminals live there. They mine rare metals and sell them to buy weapons and ships. Who runs it? Alex asked. A crime lord named Vex Stolen. He's not human or Zephyrian. Something called a Corvin. They say he's been there for 50 years, getting rich from illegal activities. Jake felt anger building inside him. These criminals thought they could take human children and sell them like animals. They were about to learn how wrong they were. Meanwhile, far away on Black Rock Station, the 12 children were locked in a dark cell. The walls were made of metal, and the air smelled bad. There were no windows, just a small light that flickered. Sometimes Tommy Chen sat in the corner trying not to cry. He was only 8 years old, and he missed his parents. I want to go home, he whispered. Emma Rodriguez, even though she was scared, was trying to take care of the younger children. We need to stay together, she said. Miss Katie will know what to do. Katie Sullivan was hurt. The Zephyrian had hit her head hard and she felt dizzy. But she was still the teacher and these children needed her. Listen to me, she said softly. We're going to be brave. Captain Morrison will come for us. How do you know? Asked a little girl named Lucy. Because that's what humans do, Katie said. We take care of each other. We never leave anyone behind. The children tried to be brave, but they were hungry and cold. The Zephyrians had given them water but no food. They could hear strange noises from outside the cell, alien voices speaking in languages they didn't understand. Back on the New Horizon, Dr. Parker finally got her tracking system working. "I've got them," she said excitedly. "The medical implants are sending weak signals. They're definitely on Blackrock Station. How are they?" Jake asked. Lisa looked at her readings. "Scared but alive. Their health is okay for now. But Captain, I'm seeing something else. There are more human life signs in that area. Other prisoners. How many? Hard to tell. Maybe dozens. Jake, I think this place is where they keep people they've captured from all over the galaxy." Alex's face went dark. "A slave market. That's what it looks like," Lisa said. "And our children are about to be sold." Jake turned to Kevin. "How long until we reach the nebula?" 6 hours at maximum speed. But Bobby, how are those weapon upgrades coming? The engineer's voice came over the radio. "Almost done, Captain. This ship won't win any beauty contests when I'm finished, but it'll pack a punch." Jake looked at his crew. These people had signed up to help build a new world, not to fight aliens in space, but now they were ready to go to war for 12 children they barely knew. "Dr. Parker, keep monitoring those signals," he said. "Alex, I want your teams ready for anything. Kevin, plot the fastest course through the nebula." "Captain," Sarah Blake's voice came from the Liberty Bell. "The civilian population is asking about their children. What should I tell them?" Jake thought about Maria Rodriguez and Danny Sullivan, about all the parents who were crying and praying for their children's safe return. "Tell them we're bringing their babies home." The New Horizon entered the Korath Nebula as the lights dimmed to red. The space around them was filled with floating rocks and dangerous radiation. It was a place where good ships went to die, where criminals made their own rules, but Jake Morrison didn't care about the dangers. Somewhere in this terrible place, 12 human children were waiting for rescue. He had promised to bring them home, and he meant to keep that promise. "All hands, this is the captain," he announced over the ship's radio. "We're going into hostile territory to rescue our people. Some of you might be scared. That's okay. But remember this, we're not just colonists anymore. We're not just civilians. Today we're warriors fighting for our children." The crew listened to his words and felt something change inside them. They were no longer just people trying to build a new life. They were humans whose young had been threatened, and that made them dangerous. In the engine room, Bobby Martinez finished his weapon upgrades. "Come on, you pirate scum," he said to himself. "Let's see how you like fighting angry humans." The hunt was about to begin. The New Horizon moved slowly through the Korath Nebula, dodging floating rocks and radiation clouds. Captain Jake Morrison watched the scanner, looking for any sign of danger. The nebula was known for hiding pirate ships that attacked travelers. "Captain," said Lieutenant Kevin Walsh from his station, "I'm getting a strange reading. There's a ship following us." Jake turned around quickly. "Pirates?" "I don't think so. The ship is too clean, too organized. It looks military." Commander Alex Turner moved to the weapon controls. "Should we prepare for battle?" Before Jake could answer, the radio crackled to life. A voice spoke in clear English but with an accent they had never heard before. "Human vessel, this is Captain Nira Vulcan of the Altarian Navy ship Starfire. Please respond." Jake looked at his crew. They had never heard of Altarians before. "This is Captain Morrison of the New Horizon. What do you want?" "We need to talk." The voice said, "I know why you're here. The Zephyrians took your children. They took my daughter too." Dr. Lisa Parker looked up from her medical equipment. "Jake, her voice sounds ... sad and angry. Can we trust her?" Alex asked quietly. Jake thought about it. In this dangerous place, they needed all the help they could get. "Captain Vulcan, would you like to come aboard our ship?" "Yes, I'm coming." "With a small team, we are not armed." 20 minutes later, Captain Nira Vulcan walked onto the bridge of the New Horizon. She was unlike any alien the humans had seen before. She looked almost human, but her skin was light blue and her eyes were silver. She was tall and moved with the confidence of a military officer. "Thank you for letting me come aboard," she said. Her voice was calm, but Jake could see pain in her silver eyes. "You said they took your daughter?" Jake said. "When?" "2 years ago. My little Zara was only 8 years old. We were visiting a trading station when the Zephyrians attacked. I've been hunting them ever since." Dr. Parker stepped forward. "I'm sorry. That must be terrible for you." Nira nodded. "Your species and mine are different, but we both love our children. When I heard that humans were coming to Blackrock Station, I knew I had to help. What can you tell us about the station?" Alex asked. Nira pulled out a small device that showed a three-dimensional image of the asteroid. Blackrock Station is huge. It's built inside a hollow rock with many levels going deep into the center. The top levels are for trading and living. The bottom levels are where they keep prisoners. "How do you know all this?" Jake asked. "I've been watching the station for months. I've rescued 3 other children from smaller Zephyrian ships, but I've never been able to get inside Blackrock itself. It's too well defended." Kevin looked at the image. "Those are a lot of weapons platforms and fighter ships." "Yes," Nira said. "Vex Tholen, the crime lord who runs the station, has maybe 1,000 ships, but there's something else. The station has a weakness." She pointed to a section of the image. "The power core. It's very old and not stable. Every few hours they have to shut down the defensive systems to fix problems. During that time, the station is vulnerable." "How long do the shutdowns last?" Bobby Martinez asked over the radio from the engine room. "Usually 10 minutes, maybe 15 if they have serious problems." Jake felt a spark of hope. "That might be enough time to get inside. There's more," Nira continued. "I have contacts inside the station. Other prisoners who want to escape. They can help us find your children." Alex studied the station's layout. "It's still dangerous. Even with the defenses down, there are thousands of criminals inside." "I know," Nira said, "but I have a plan. My ship has cloaking technology. We can get close during the power shutdown. Your ship can attack from the front, making noise and drawing attention. While they're fighting you, I can sneak inside with a small team." Dr. Parker looked worried. "What about the children? They could be hurt in the fighting?" "That's why we need to move fast and smart," Nira said. "My people have telepathic abilities. Once I'm inside, I can sense where the children are and guide your rescue team directly to them." Jake looked at his crew. The plan was risky, but it might work. "Captain Vulcan, why are you helping us? You don't know us." Nira's silver eyes became hard. "Because Vex Tholen and his people think they can steal our children and sell them like animals. They need to learn that some things are worth fighting." Meanwhile, on Blackrock Station, the 12 human children were still locked in their dark cell. But they were not alone anymore. During the night, the guards had brought in another prisoner. She was a young girl with blue skin and silver eyes, just like Captain Nira. She looked scared and tired, but she was trying to be brave. "Hello," Emma Rodriguez said softly. "What's your name?" "I'm Zara," the girl said. "I'm Altarian." "I've been here for 2 years." Tommy Chun looked up from his corner. 2 years? How old are you?" "I'm 10 now. I was 8 when they took me from my mother." Zara's voice was sad, but she tried to smile. "Are you the human children everyone is talking about?" "What are they saying?" Katie Sullivan asked. She was feeling better, but her head still hurt. "The guards are excited. They say human children are very valuable. There's going to be an auction tomorrow." The children looked scared, but Emma tried to stay strong. "Someone will come for us. Captain Morrison won't leave us here." "I hope so," Zara said. "But this place is very dangerous." "The crime lord Vex? Tholen is cruel. He enjoys hurting people." In another part of the station, an old alien was working in the maintenance tunnels. His name was Geth, and he was a Corvin like Vex Tholen, but he hated what the crime lord did. He had been secretly helping prisoners escape when he could. Geth had heard about the human children. He knew they were going to be sold to terrible people who would hurt them. He wanted to help, but he was old and weak. Then he received a secret message from Captain Nira. She was coming to the station, and she needed his help. For the first time in years, Geth felt hope. Back on the New Horizon, the crew was preparing for battle. Bobby Martinez had finished upgrading the weapons. The ship now had more powerful guns and stronger shields. "This isn't going to be easy," Alex told his security team. "We're going to face thousands of enemies, but we're not just fighting for ourselves. We're fighting for children who can't fight for themselves." Sergeant Mike Johnson checked his weapon. "Those aliens made a big mistake. They don't understand what happens when you threaten human children." "That's right," Alex said. "We're going to show them what angry humans can do." Dr. Parker was preparing medical supplies for the wounded she knew would come. "Jake, I've been monitoring the children's medical signals. They're getting weaker. We need to move soon." "How soon?" Jake asked. "If we don't reach them in the next few hours, some of the younger ones might not survive." Jake felt anger building inside him. These criminals thought they could hurt innocent children and get away with it. They were about to learn how wrong they were. "Captain Vulcan," he said to Nira. "When is the next power shutdown?" Nira checked her instruments. "In 3 hours?" "The shutdown should last 12 minutes. "And then that's when we attack," Jake said. "We're going to get our children back, and we're going to make sure these criminals never hurt anyone again." The two ships moved deeper into the nebula, toward the dark asteroid where human children waited in fear. But help was coming, and the criminals of Blackrock Station were about to face something they had never encountered before. The fury of protective humans was about to be unleashed, and the galaxy would never be the same. The alarm bells rang through Blackrock Station as the power core began its shutdown cycle. Red lights flashed in the dark corridors, and the defensive weapons went quiet. For 12 minutes, the massive asteroid fortress would be vulnerable. Captain Jake Morrison watched from the bridge of the New Horizon as the station's shields flickered and died. "This is it," he said to his crew. "Bobby, give me everything the engines have." "You got it, Captain," Bobby Martinez said from the engine room. "We're going in fast and hard." The New Horizon burst out from behind a large asteroid, its weapons already firing. The upgraded guns that Bobby had built sent bright energy beams toward the station. Explosions lit up the dark space as the human ship charged forward. Captain Nira Vulcan's ship, the Starfire, was invisible thanks to its cloaking device. While the New Horizon attacked from the front, making noise and drawing attention, Nira's team moved quietly toward the station's back entrance. "All fighters launch," shouted the station commander over the radio. "Destroy the human ship!" Hundreds of small fighter ships poured out of Blackrock Station like angry insects. They were fast and deadly, piloted by criminals from many different alien species. They swarmed toward the New Horizon, firing everything they had. Lieutenant Kevin Walsh flew the big colony ship like it was a fighter. He rolled and turned, dodging the enemy shots while Alex Turner's gunners fired back. "We've got too many of them," Kevin shouted. "Hold steady," Jake said. "We just need to keep them busy." Inside the station, Old Geth the maintenance worker was moving through the dark tunnels. He carried tools and spare parts, looking like any other worker. But hidden in his tool bag was a small radio that connected him to Captain Nira. "The human children are in cell block 7, he whispered into the radio. "Deep in the lower levels, but be careful." "There are many guards," Nira's voice came back through the radio. "Thank you, friend. We're almost inside." The Starfire docked quietly at a maintenance port while the battle raged on the other side of the station. Nira and 6 of her best soldiers slipped inside, moving like shadows through the corridors. Meanwhile, in cell block 7, the human children could hear the sounds of battle above them. The walls shook with each explosion, and dust fell from the ceiling. "What's happening?" little Lucy asked, holding Emma Rodriguez's hand. "Someone's fighting the bad aliens," Emma said, trying to sound brave. "Maybe it's Captain Morrison." Tommy Chen was drawing in his notebook, but his hands were shaking. "I hope they win," he said quietly. Katie Sullivan gathered the children around her. Even though she was hurt and scared, she was still their teacher. "Listen to me," she said. "If people come to rescue us, we need to be ready to move quickly. Stay together and do exactly what I say." Zara, the Altarian girl, suddenly looked up. Her silver eyes went wide. "I can sense something," she said. "There are Altarians in the station." "They're coming this way." In the upper levels of the station, Vex Tholen was getting angry. He was a huge creature with gray skin and 4 arms. His people, the Corvans, were known for being cruel and greedy. How did one human ship get past our defenses? He roared at his commanders. Destroy it now! We're trying, Lord Tholen, said one of his officers. But the ship is stronger than it looks. Their weapons are more powerful than expected. Then send more fighters. Send everything we have? But Vex Tholen didn't know that the real danger was already inside his station. Commander Alex Turner was leading a team of 20 human soldiers through the New Horizons docking bays. Listen up, he shouted over the noise of battle. We're going to board that station and get our children back. Anyone who tries to stop us is going to regret it. The humans launched their own fighters and boarding ships. They were fewer in number than the enemy, but they fought with a fury that surprised the criminals. These were not professional soldiers fighting for money or glory. These were parents and friends fighting for children. Sergeant Mike Johnson piloted a boarding ship toward the station, dodging enemy fire. Come on, you alien scum, he muttered. Let's see how tough you are when you're not picking on kids. The boarding ship crashed through the station's outer hull, and Alex's team poured out, shooting. The alien guards were caught off guard by the humans' fierce attack. Deep in the station, Nira and her team reached Cell Block 7. They moved silently, using their telepathic abilities to sense where the guards were. When they found guards, they dealt with them quickly and quietly. I can feel the children, Nira whispered to her team. They're close. There are 13 life signs in the main cell. 13? Asked one of her soldiers. 12 humans and 1 Altarian. It must be another prisoner. They reached the cell door and Nira used her tools to open the electronic lock. The door slid open with a soft hiss. The children looked up in surprise as blue-skinned aliens entered their cell. For a moment they were scared. Then Zara stood up with tears in her silver eyes. Altarians, she whispered. Are you here to save us? Yes, little one, Nira said gently. I'm Captain Nira Vulcan. We're here to take you home. Emma Rodriguez stepped forward. Are you working with Captain Morrison? Yes, Nira said. He's fighting outside to keep the guards busy while we get you out of here. Katie Sullivan tried to stand up, but she was still dizzy from her head injury. The children need to stay together, she said. Don't worry, Nira told her. We're all leaving together. But as they prepared to escape, alarms started ringing in. Their section of the station. A guard had found the unconscious aliens that Nira's team had left behind. We need to move fast, one of Nira's soldiers said. They know we're here. Back in space, the battle was getting worse. The New Horizon was surrounded by enemy fighters, and its shields were getting weak. Explosions rocked the ship as enemy. Weapons found their target. Hull breach on Deck 5, Kevin Walsh reported. We're taking heavy damage. Dr. Lisa Parker was treating wounded crew members in the medical bay. Jake, we can't take much more of this, she said over the radio, but Jake Morrison wasn't giving up. Bobby, how much longer can you keep the engines running? As long as you need, Captain, Bobby said. But the power core is getting hot. If it overloads, we're all dead. Then we better finish this fast. In Cell Block 7, Nira was leading. The children through the maintenance tunnels that old Geff had shown her. The tunnels were dark and narrow, but they avoided the main corridors where guards were searching. Stay quiet, she whispered to the children. We're almost out, but Tommy Chun was too weak to walk fast. He had not eaten in 2 days, and fear had made him sick. He stumbled and fell behind the group. I can't go any further, he said, sitting down in the tunnel. Emma Rodriguez went back to help him. Come on, Tommy, we're almost safe. I'm too tired, he said, without hesitation. One of Nira's soldiers picked up the little boy and carried him. No one gets left behind, the soldier said. The group reached a maintenance shaft that led to the outside of the station. But as they climbed up, they heard footsteps in the tunnel behind them. They found us, Nira said. Move faster! Zephyrian. Guards poured into the tunnel, their yellow eyes glowing in the dark. They fired their weapons and energy beams lit up the narrow space. Protect the children. Nira shouted. Her soldiers turned to fight while she helped the children climb toward safety. Katie Sullivan, despite her injuries, helped push the smaller children up the shaft. The battle in the tunnel was fierce. The Altarian soldiers were skilled fighters, but they were outnumbered. One by one, they fell defending the children. Just when it seemed hopeless, human voices echoed from above. "Down here!" Alex Turner shouted. "We found them!" Commander Turner and his team had fought their way to the same maintenance area. They dropped down into the tunnel, their weapons blazing. The sight of human soldiers filled the children with hope. "Captain Morrison sent us," Alex said to Katie. "We're getting you out of here." But the escape was not over yet. More enemy soldiers were coming, and the station's power core was coming back online. Soon, the defensive weapons would start working. "Again, we need to leave now," Nira said. "My ship is waiting." As the group moved toward the escape route, explosions shook the station. The New Horizon was still fighting outside, keeping the enemy busy. "Almost there," Alex said. "Just a little further." But Vextholen himself was coming with his personal guards. The crime lord was furious that prisoners were escaping from his station. The final battle was about to begin. Vextholen stormed through the corridors of Blackrock Station, his 4 arms carrying different weapons. Behind him marched his personal guards, the meanest criminals in the galaxy. The crime lord's gray skin was dark with anger. "Find those human children," he roared. "They belong to me." No one steals from Vextholen. In the maintenance tunnels, Commander Alex Turner heard the heavy footsteps getting closer. He looked at the 12 human children and Katie Sullivan, then at Captain Nira and her remaining soldiers. "How many more guards are coming?" he asked. "Too many," Nira said. Her silver eyes were worried. "We need to reach my ship, but Vextholen is blocking our path." Little Tommy Chun was still being carried by the Altarian soldier. His face was pale, but his eyes were brave. "I'm not scared," he whispered, even though his hands were shaking. Emma Rodriguez held the hand of younger children, trying to keep them calm. "We're going home soon," she told them. "Captain Morrison is waiting for us." But suddenly, Vextholen appeared at the end of the tunnel. The massive alien blocked their escape route, his weapons pointed at the group. "Going somewhere?" he hissed behind them. More guards appeared. They were trapped. "Let the children go," Alex said, stepping forward with his weapon ready. "They're just kids. They never did anything to you." Vextholen laughed, a sound like metal scraping against rock. "Children are worth more money than you can imagine, human. Especially your children. Some buyers pay millions for young humans." Katie Sullivan, despite her injuries, stood up straight. "You're a monster," she said. "These children have families who love them." "Love?" Vextholen spat. "Love doesn't buy ships or weapons. Money does. And these little ones are going to make me very rich." That's when something changed in the humans. Alex Turner's face went cold, colder than space itself. The other human soldiers raised their weapons, and their eyes filled with a fury that made even the alien guards step back. "You captured human children?" Alex said quietly. "Are you insane?" Dr. Lisa Parker, who had come with the rescue team, was normally a gentle woman who healed people. But when she saw Vextholen threatening the children, something primitive awakened inside her. "You hurt our babies," she said, her voice deadly calm. Vextholen had never seen humans fight before. He didn't understand what was happening to them. Their faces were changing, becoming something frightening and dangerous. "Kill them all," he ordered his guards. "But keep the children alive." The battle that followed was unlike anything the aliens had ever seen. The humans fought with a fury that seemed to come from their very souls. They didn't fight for money or power. They fought for children who needed protection. Alex Turner moved like lightning, his weapon firing again and again. He didn't think about tactics or strategy. He only thought about getting the children to safety. When his gun ran out of bullets, he used it as a club. Dr. Parker, who had spent her life saving people, became deadly when the children were threatened. She fought beside the soldiers, protecting the young ones with fierce determination. The alien guards were skilled fighters, but they had never faced anything like this. Humans protecting their young were more dangerous than any weapon in space above them. Captain Jake Morrison was fighting the same kind of battle the New Horizon was. Damaged and surrounded, but Jake refused to give up. "Captain?" Lieutenant Kevin Walsh shouted. "The engine core is overloading. We need to retreat." "No," Jake said. "Our children are still down there. We don't leave without them." Chief Engineer Bobby Martinez was working in the engine room while explosions shook the ship around him. "Just give me 5 more minutes," he called out. "I can keep her running." The human crew fought with everything they had. They were not professional warriors. They were farmers, teachers, engineers, and doctors, but they were also parents and friends. And that made them unstoppable. Back in the tunnel, the battle was reaching its end. Most of Vex Tholen's guards were down, but the crime lord himself was still fighting. He was bigger and stronger than any human, and his forearms made him dangerous. "You think you can defeat me?" he snarled at Alex. "I have ruled this station for 50 years. "That ends today," Alex said. Vex Tholen lunged forward, trying to grab one of the children to use as a shield. But he made a terrible mistake. He reached for Tommy Chun. Emma Rodriguez, only 10 years old, jumped between the crime lord and the younger boy. "Leave him alone!" she shouted. Vex Tholen's massive hand grabbed Emma's arm. She cried out in pain and fear. That's when the true fury of humanity was unleashed. Captain Nira later said she had never seen anything like what happened next. The humans stopped being civilized people and became something primal and terrifying. Alex Turner roared like a wild animal and threw himself at Vex Tholen with his bare hands. Dr. Parker joined him. And then the other soldiers, they swarmed over. The crime lord like a pack of wolves protecting their cubs. Vex Tholen was strong, but he couldn't fight all of them at once. "You touched our child," Alex screamed as he fought. "You threatened our babies." The battle was brief but fierce. When it was over, Vex Tholen lay unconscious on the tunnel floor. The humans stood over him, breathing hard, their eyes still filled with protective fury. "Is Emma okay?" Dr. Parker asked, immediately switching back to her caring nature. Emma's arm was bruised but not broken. "I'm fine," she said bravely. "I couldn't let him hurt Tommy." The humans looked at this 10-year-old girl who had risked herself to protect a younger child, and they felt proud of what their species could be. "Let's go home," Alex said gently. The group made their way to Captain Nira's ship. The Starfire was waiting at the hidden docking port, its engines ready for immediate departure. As they ran through the station's corridors, they could hear more guards coming. But something had changed. The other criminals seemed afraid to fight them now. Word was spreading through the station about what happened to Vex Tholen and his guards. "Humans," one alien whispered to another. "Don't fight humans when they're young or threatened." They reached the Starfire just as the station's defensive systems came back online. Captain Nira quickly piloted her ship away from the asteroid while the New Horizon covered their escape. In space, Jake Morrison saw the smaller ship leaving the station. "Kevin, are our people on that ship?" "Yes, Captain. I'm reading 13 human life signs and several Altarians." Then let's get out of here," Jake said with relief. The 2 ships flew away from Blackrock Station together. Behind them, the criminal fortress was in chaos. With Vex Tholen defeated and many guards dead, the different criminal groups began fighting each other for control. Aboard the Starfire, the 12 human children were finally safe. Dr. Parker checked each one, making sure they were not seriously hurt. Katie Sullivan hugged her students, tears of joy running down her face. "We did it," she whispered. "We're going home." Tommy Chen was drawing in his notebook again, but this time he was drawing pictures of Captain Morrison and the brave soldiers who had saved them. Emma Rodriguez sat next to Zara, the Altarian girl. "Are you coming with us?" she asked. "If that's okay," Zara said. "I don't have anywhere else to go." "Of course it's okay," Emma said. "We take care of each other." Captain Nira smiled as she listened to the children. "Your species is remarkable," she told Jake over the radio. "I have never seen anyone fight like that." "You hurt our children," Jake said simply. "That was their mistake." 3 days later, the New Horizon arrived at the colony site. The children were reunited with their families in scenes of joy and tears. Maria Rodriguez held Emma so tightly. She could barely breathe. Danny Sullivan hugged his daughter Katie and thanked her for protecting the children. The story of what happened at Blackrock Station spread quickly through the galaxy. Other species learned that human children were never to be touched. Criminal organizations passed down new rules. Never capture human young. The price is too high. At the memorial service for Chief Engineer Bobby Martinez and the two soldiers who died in the rescue, Captain Morrison spoke to the gathered colonists. "We came here to build a new world," he said. "But we learned something important. We're not just colonists or farmers or engineers, we're humans. And humans protect their children, no matter the cost." The colony was named Martinez Landing in honor of the man who gave his life so that children could be free. In the center of the new town, they built a playground where human children and young Zara played together under the light of their new sun, and across the galaxy, the word spread. Never threaten human children. They are protected by something more dangerous than any weapon. They are protected by human love.